All of you all, the Lordship, Reverend Dr. Paul Anthony Ulasheri, the Bishop of the Diocese of Kollam, the Principal of this eminent institution, Professor Cynthia Catherine Michael, my colleague in the Parliament, very respected Member of Parliament of Kollam, N.K. Premachandran, the Vice Chancellor of University of Kerala, Dr. Mohanan, the manager of this eminent institution, Dr. Abhilash Gregory, Controller of Examinations, Mr. Christy Clement, and most importantly, Professor K.V. Thomas, representative, the special representative of Kerala, Government of Kerala in Delhi, former central minister, and who was instrumental in inviting me and coming over to Delhi and asking me to participate in this very motivating interaction with the young and also the awarding of the degree ceremony. The graduating students, eminences of the diocese, fathers, the media, the faculty, non-faculty members of this college, to all of you all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be with you. And let me first start with those students who are going to get their degrees today. Congratulations and all the very best for your bright future. Graduation day is always a very significant day in a student's life, especially when you're coming out of a very eminent institution such as Fatima National College. The best thing about this institution, as I understand it, it has blended education, the thought, education as a service, together with the virtues of education and being patriotic to the nation. It is such an ideal and possibly the best combination which an institution can offer to its students. And in that respect, you can see that the most eminent students coming out of this institution are representing our society in institutions such as the Parliament. They are the lawmakers for the country. They are rooted in the ground. They are molded by education institutions such as this. There cannot be a better and outstanding example than N.K. Premachandran, your Member of Parliament. The other names which are given are also equally contributing to the society, as was read out by the principal, about students who are now representing different walks of life, but essentially molded from this institution. So I place on record my appreciation for the service, the quality of service, and taking education both as a service to the nation and a service to the society, top of the agenda, keeping that as the motto. So my appreciations to this great institution. In today's India, and at a time when you're graduating from this institution, it is very important for us to know somewhat, some background of where India is today. After quite a few decades of trying and building the foundation, which is very essential, we have started building our economy in various different ways after it was opened up in 1991. The strength of the economy derives from the contribution that each citizen makes. For that, effective policy making, global situation which also assists us in our growth are all factors. But today, after 3 to 4 years of global major uncertainties, be it a global pandemic not seen in 100 years, COVID that we had in 2020, which completely destabilized the entire world. Some countries were affected early, some countries were affected subsequently, and a few countries were left to be affected subsequently much later than most others. But affected all were. There weren't 1 or 2 countries which were not affected by it. So what it is, so what if it is affected? It brought the normal life of all of us to a complete halt. Economies had nothing to contribute. Economies had nothing to gain. On the contrary, they lost. Everyone was able to do what they wanted to do as their own business, but they were not allowed. The contagion was of such nature that nobody knew how to handle it. No country knew how to handle it. The best solution was to keep yourself to yourself safe so that the contagion doesn't spread. As a result, productive months were lost, and coming out of it, there was a second and a third wave. As a result, nearly 3 years were completely unpredictable. So policy making in those 3 years, where as we went along, as we had to keep abreast of how things were evolving, and as a result, there was a complete unpredictability. Post that, even as we are coming out, India came out as a very successful country for one major reason, in that the talent of our own scientists, the talent of our people, even during a lockdown situation, gave us an indigenous vaccine which was medically tested and approved to global standards, and also a vaccine whose patent was elsewhere but which was brought here because we needed to scale up and scale up quickly. So we had the benefit of 2 vaccines which were manufactured in India. One, of course, was formulated in India. And after the manufacturing, due to the excellent contribution of our medical, paramedical, and other health-related staff all over the country, covering all Indian citizens, first with at least 1 dose and later with the additional and subsequent doses, was done in record time. That in the recent G20 meeting, there wasn't one country which was left out to tell us, how did you manage it? How was scaling up possible? The sheer commitment to service of many medical professionals, doctors, nurses, paramedics, and the ground staff, they went door to door to ensure even senior citizens who are immobilized and who are at home were not left out. It purely showcased what India and its people are capable of, and as a result, we were able to stand up and face the universe far sooner than very many countries. But that comfort did not alone help us. We had also issues of global challenges such as war, food insecurity all over the world, our farmers were contributing in the ground. We had to pump in such reform steps so that our youth are not left without hope. It is our youth who are now revving to take India to the next stage. And the next stage is the stage where you should not look at the past challenges. You should not look at the past scarcities. You should look at the future opportunities. You should look at the future challenges and build an India for future prosperity and well-being of all our citizens. And that is why this goal that by 2047 we should all dedicate ourselves to build a developed India. And I say developed India before young people who were born well after the days of the shortcomings, the shortfalls, the shortages. We had to wait in queues to get a phone connection at home. I'm sure your parents would vouch for what I'm saying. It was an India where we had to wait for gas allocation, cooking gas cylinder allocation for years. It was an India where even to build one additional room to your house, you needed to wait for cement to be available for you at some reasonable price. So you had to wait for even what is now taken for granted as basic essentials. But it has become possible because of the kind of effort successive governments have made, some more successfully and some less successfully. But you are fortunate to have been born in an India where opportunities are there for you, and it is for you to also think in terms of your own skills. Your eminent institution, Fatima Mata National College, builds you with such skills where you know what you've learned in the college, information being the best thing that you can access today because of technology, and with that information you know how to take forward your ambitions. Some of you may want to go for higher studies. Some others would want to do some innovative new enterprise which will be meeting with all those dreams that you have. And some others of you would also want to see how best you can serve the society in any other capacity. For all this today, the digital revolution that India has seen in the last few years is actually giving you an instrument in your hand which can substitute for the number of institutions that probably N.K. Premachandran and many others would have gone from one place to another in search of legitimate information with which we can build our careers or our prospects. Today everything is there in your phone. You don't have to run between one institution to another, one library to another, one information center to another. It's all there in your hand. I would appeal to each one of you to effectively use this flood of information which reaches your hand. It's a skill to effectively filter out those information that you may want, information that will be useful to you from that flood. Because we are pounded with data, pounded with information every moment. But not all of them are useful. Not all of them are credible. Not all of them are reliable information. You should have that skill in you to make sure that what is relevant, what is legitimate, and what is reliable is able to be taken out and used for your future. Neither should you benefit from these churning of data which comes out, some of which are not really credible. Nor should you contribute to that because you want to be a constructive member of the society rather than be irresponsible in taking information unknowingly, I would imagine, and churning it out thinking that that's the best. Discretion, it is said, because this is a very famous saying, discretion is the better value of valor. You may be very valorous, you may be brave, you want to confront the society, you want to go forward, you want to take everything being up at the front and center, but you have to be using your sense of discretion, which is good, which is bad, which is genuine, which is not, which is, using your parlance today, which is fake and which is genuine, which is reliable. You have to be a positive and constructive contributor to the society. By sheer lack of discretion, if you contribute to some negativity, if you contribute to something which is not genuine, leave aside contributing to the society, you might be hurting the society. You do not want to do that. Similarly, in your pursuit for a higher education, don't just go by what is needed by the market today. Please again use your discretion. Consult your elders, your principal, elders in the institution, your parents, to make sure where your aptitude lies. We know of very many children, students, who get into the field because they saw a few of their friends do it. But for all that, you may not be aptitudinally suitable for that route. It's for you to see which is your best fit. So don't just blindly rush into a field which, because some people have gone in, you also want to go in. May not help you at all and can scar you for your life because of a quick, hasty decision. So at this stage, I wouldn't want to keep giving you homilies or advice, but I would say certainly that India is at a cusp of change. Our youth are the ones who are going to make the change, and they are the ones to benefit from the change. The next 25 years, you have so many things opened up now because of the kind of policies that we've taken. India's space sector is opened up. India's atomic energy is opened up. No area is now reserved only for the government, meaning public sector is even now prevalent in many areas, and they shall continue to be. But it is not reserved to the public sector alone, and areas such as space have benefited because of private participation. Kerala is a center for this. Kerala is actually a good potential knowledge hub for India. I would appeal to each one of you to see where your interests lie. Kerala itself can offer so many opportunities. I know of very many people who are now returning to India because opportunities and investments are here. There is no need for us to rush abroad for a better quality of life or standard of life. That's available here and gives us the additional advantage that you are in your home country and you can contribute for its betterment. So I would appeal to each one of you to carefully think of where you want to be, how you want to progress, and choose your career accordingly, but make sure one thought is not entertained too much in your head. Jobs are there for you to create as well. You don't need to seek a job and get some job and be an employee somewhere. If some of you want to do that, yes, very welcome, you can still do it. But for the knowledge, for the skills, for the capability that you have, and for the kind of skill opportunities that you get. I would think each one of you all can be a job creator. That is why Kerala has, in the ecosystem where India has become the third largest startup ecosystem, Kerala has immensely contributed by the number of startups which are in Kerala. I'm sure you will consider wanting to be your own employee and employer, and in the process give opportunities for people with skills which you require for your own venture. There are immense scope for Kerala's own coastal area, Kerala's own spice, Kerala's own knowledge component in setting up alternative routes of redressing public awareness, in the sense redressing public awareness related issues. Fintechs are your own. You're contributing immensely towards India's fintech industry. So with all these opportunities and with an institution from where you're getting qualified today, I think India 2047 is in your hands to build, and the Prime Minister's vision that all our young should live in a better India, in an India about which all of us can be proud of. That is 2047, developed India, Vikasit Bharat. I appeal to you all to contribute to it as much as benefit from it. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.